So I never thought we were going to make a video like this because, you'd think this would be a very obvious answer. But unfortunately, it's not that obvious, so we're actually going to have to do it. Does an anime fan base affect the quality of an anime? Is it right to hate on My Hero because you do not like the fans? Is it right to hate on JoJo because you don't like the fans? Is it right to hate on Dragon Ball Z and Naruto because you do not like the fans? Short answer, no, it's not right.
But you know what is right? Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends has millions of players. If you aren't already playing it like everyone else, then you are completely missing out. The Doom Tower in Raid Shadow Legends is one of the most breathtaking dungeons in a video game. Life is short, so I suggest you take this very opportunity to challenge the Doom Tower, especially with your friends, and experience the 120 floors and difficult bosses waiting for their respective challengers. And it could be you. Are you strong enough? Are you brave enough to enter the Doom Tower? If you said no to any of these questions, don't worry. Raid Shadow Legends allows you to build yourself alongside your team of champions in order to understand and approach the Doom Tower as you play. Not only will you gain experience as a player, but your champions will grow as you play the game. You can also get immersed into the Raid Shadow Legends story, which is one of my favorite aspects about the game, is being able to learn more about the champions, world, and lore of Raid Shadow Legends, and being able to defeat the Dark Lord and restore peace and harmony to the world of Raid Shadow Legends. It's such a great experience. And all of this takes place in traditional RPG game fashion. Don't have enough time? Raid Shadow Legends offers an autoplay feature to allow you to enjoy the content of the game at your own leisure. The best part about Raid Shadow Legends is the amount of control players have, even when you're not in control. This will allow you to truly enjoy the most hype and anticipated update in Raid Shadow Legends history, just from clicking the link below in the description to participate. But that's not all. You will obtain extra rewards in your inbox for the next 30 days. So act fast. Click the link below and download Raid Shadow Legends today. On the device of your choosing, whether it's your phone or your PC, you can get started on either device just from clicking the link in the description below. And again, if you act fast, for the next 30 days, you will be able to obtain rewards in-game from clicking the link in the description below. Some people have a mindset as if when they're first getting into an anime series, the first thing they're going to want to learn about and try and, interact with is the community and the overall fan base in order to get into a series, because they're going to ask them things like, hey, such and such, is this show really this good, or anything like that. But I feel like if anyone has a genuine interest, they would literally just go and get into the show. No questions asked.
They'd look at it with no influence.
Yes, without
their own accord.
And so when people try and use that as like a way to try and justify judging a show based off of his fans, it's like this, right? The mangaka who is sitting there slaving away making the manga has nothing to do with the people who are reading it. Yes, there's a connection there between reader and author, but at the end of the day, the author is the one who is really just making the story. Just because the creator is making said product, that does not mean he has an influence on what is done with said product or who likes that same product. See, for example, is it really fair to judge me and Rashawn as Rash plays because we might have 1 or 2 fans that you've encountered, 2 subscribers, or maybe, I don't know, let's say 10 subscribers, because, I guess that's more realistic. You ran into a few people out of our thousands of subscribers and you disliked them. Does that really mean that does that give you the right to automatically dislike me when you don't even know me and I just do my thing and I upload videos on YouTube? So how could you hate my channel based off of somebody else's opinion or how they represent my channel instead of actually giving my channel an unbiased look and then developing your own opinion? See, how can you take a mangaka's work
and just say, oh, I don't like this said thing because I saw some gay ship of My Hero. When that's not even the type of energy My Hero is on. It's crazy because can you really call these people who are representing My Hero on TikTok or anything like that actual fans? Just because they dress up as Midoriya, they're automatically a fan. So it's like you're basing opinion on someone who could debatably not be a real fan of this thing, and then you're forming opinion on that same thing that they are quote unquote representing. So is that even really a fair thing to do? There could be people representing Rash plays, or there could be people representing your favorite music group and you don't necessarily like those people, or they might not even be real fans of those said things, and just because they're representing that said thing, you're gonna jump to your own conclusion and automatically hate that thing.
Well, this actually reminds me of like something that happened back in like, I think it was 2015, where a PSG fan stabbed a Barcelona fan over the Champions League game. It's like this, right? I hate PSG fans. He stabbed another fan. What the I don't like PSG because of that. I can't like that Paris Saint-Germain team because their fan base is toxic. But it's like,
the toxicity has nothing to do with the overall club
team, yes, or the history or anything like that.
Yeah, it has nothing to like, just because like a fan has nothing to do with anything. For example, because you buy something from McDonald's, right? Let's think about this. Every single person goes to McDonald's. You could be the biggest piece of shit person. You could be a good person. Everybody goes to McDonald's. You've at least been to McDonald's one time in your life to get a $1 menu burger. One person. Every person on this earth has done that one time, right? So if you see a dude, he might be a douchebag, and you see a McDonald's bag in his car, does it really make sense to be like, hey, yo, f McDonald's, bro. This nigga eat McDonald's. I hate it. Like, right? I just thought of a really extreme example, but it says,
bruh, I ain't like the way that fat guy eat that peanut butter jelly sandwich. I ain't ever eating peanut butter jelly again.
like, what?
Nah, bro. It's really dumb logic. Like, it really makes no sense.
Like, see, this type of stuff makes me feel like we're regressing. Like, what makes you think it's okay to dislike something because of one thing? It makes absolutely no sense. And you think as a society we be past this type of thinking, dude. It's just crazy to me.
You know, I'm personally beginning to think that people are just trying to use the fan base as an excuse to ultimately dislike My Hero.
Or just bash on it.
Yes, or as a reason they just hate on it, because it's like this, right? If you genuinely don't like it, you wouldn't use a reason such as the fan base to dislike it. Yes, because you wouldn't be like, because you'd be like, if I dislike the story, you'd say, I don't like this aspect about the story. So, you know, how some people are like, oh, even though I still think this is pretty stupid, I don't like My Hero Academia because Deku got his powers. Honestly, I don't want anyone thinking we're like trying to like, you know, shield My Hero or anything, but it's just such an easy, clear-cut example to understand this way of thinking from people.
People automatically hate Dragon Ball Z because of the power, the fan base, and the power scaling and all this other stuff. But when the grand scheme of things, if you never went online and ran into these people and you unbiasedly read the manga,
you could have liked it.
You could have liked it. But because you went online and got involved in some drama or some beef or some dumbass's opinion, or some like just something dumb, you're gonna take it out on the series. I remember when Jujutsu Kaisen was first coming out, some people were being mad toxic about the anime, like, this shit's on all this other anime. I remember on Twitter there was this dude being like just down talking fire.
Oh, do you
yes,
and I saw a Jujutsu Kaisen thing, right? One dude's like, this Jujutsu Kaisen fan base is so toxic, I do not even want to look at this series. I'm like, what?
Like, it's just dumb, bro. Like, see,
like, this is something that could be your favorite anime, and you're letting some like jackass filter your experience, like, of enjoying something that you.
My major thing is, why do we throw common sense out the window? Like, because one dog bit me, I hate every single dog because they act all the same. Because I ate one bad, like, I don't know, Italian meal, like, okay, Italian food, right? Let's say, I ate one bad spaghetti all time, like, one time, all Italian food's bad. Like, this one thing literally ruined the chances for every single thing. And this whole entire thing has nothing to do with the grand scheme of, like, what you're trying to get into. Like, how is all Italian food bad when you just don't like one meal of Italian food? How is every single dog like how do you not like dogs?
How's every pit bull bad?
Like how do you not like dogs because you got bit by one time?
Honestly, like people like to judge pit bulls. We have a pit bull and she doesn't even bite.
It's like I just hate this mentality, bro. Because in low key,
it's all about how you carry things.
And see, in the grander scheme of things, this mentality is just not healthy, dude. Because I don't mean to be that guy, but even as a black man, I would say this is how a racist person thinks, bro. Because when you think of this in mentality, I don't like because I ran into this dude on this one black dude on the street. I don't like black people, or because this and that, I don't like white people. Oh, because this person did this, I don't like this race of people. And see, in the grander scheme of things, someone will be like, well, it's just an opinion on an anime. It's just an opinion on this. But when you really think about it, this might be just an opinion on this little thing of, oh, this dude doesn't like this because of this. But this is just a common example of how down bad people are. This is a common example of how stupid people are because they dismiss common sense, and you can see how it affects their lives. Even something as simple as liking an anime, you see how just because one thing had an involvement with it, they dislike it.
You know what's crazy? This brings me back to when I was reading Get a Robo Go. I know it's a fictional work, but it works in such a like crazy way because it's the same. There's a guy, his name is Schwartz, right? He hated all Japanese people for what happened at Pearl Harbor because his parents died there, right? And then it turns out that a Japanese woman saved his life, and eventually he began to like her and he ended up marrying her. And now imagine if he still kept that attitude of hating all Japanese people for what happened to his parents. He wouldn't have found the love of his life if he wouldn't have switched his ways. That just says a lot now, doesn't it? At times, you really don't know what you can just take away from yourself when you're just trying to be selfish. And that's where it really boils down to. That selfishness comes to looking at things from a single perspective, you know?
Tunnel vision.
Yes, and that tunnel vision ultimately keeps you going to that one end point when there's not one, not tens, not hundreds, not thousands, millions of other possibilities.
That
you can go left, right, make curves, make 1080s, 360s. There's so many different. You can go like diagonal. There's just so many things you can do.
But you're stuck in your same old ways. Like, and see, let me go back to.
And a lot of people don't know is that one tunnel is just going down.
Anyways, back to what I was saying earlier. Even though you're doing this with a simple thing such as an anime, like let's really think about it. You're literally letting the actions of one person bother you enough to dislike something as simple as an anime. What does that say about how you carry things in your overall life?
That's really petty.
It's so petty. Like, because one person of this skin tone did this thing, you dislike people of that skin tone. Because one person was a fan of this anime, you dislike this anime. Because you had one bad meal, that whole entire type of food is bad to you. Because a dog bit you. All dogs are like that. You see, I was like, oh, it's just an anime. Oh, it's just the skin color. Oh, it's just the food. Oh, it's just a dog. Is that really a healthy mindset to have? And people will downplay it because people aren't real fans of anime. They'll sit here and be like, oh, it's just an anime. Who cares? Well, how about all the other things? Oh, it's just a dog. Who cares? How many of you get upset when people say, oh, it's just a dog. Who cares? Does that justify how wrong it is? At the end of the day, what I really am trying to say is, can we just stop dismissing common sense? Because should I really have to explain something as simple as this? Like, it's wrong to label something and say you dislike something based off of like one thing that happened. Even if that thing might not even have a direct involvement to that thing that happened, you're gonna sit here and dislike it. Makes absolutely no sense. Oh, I guess a serial killer was eating Captain Crunch. Well, I guess I'm never eating fucking Captain Crunch anymore. Even though it's like a common thing in everybody's household. Everybody eats cereal. Damn. But you know what? Captain Crunch, nah, I can't. Down bad.
That's really from, like...
mental.
Not even mental. That's really just...
unhealthy.
Like, what are you doing with yourself?
What are you doing? That's literally
honestly, that's self-rejection.
That is self-rejection.
In a really weird way, because again, like I said earlier, you don't know what you're pulling away from yourself by disliking something for such a simple reason.
Dude, it's hateful, bro.
Yeah, it is hateful.
Like, could you imagine? It's spiteful. Could you imagine getting that upset over getting in a little argument over an anime or a fucking show, anything?
Like,
you literally just focus all that hate. Like, you gotta be so petty. You gotta be so like the amounts of salt that will come off of you to make you dislike that entire thing because of one individual ruining it for you. Like, the amount of salt, bro. Like, how can you be that salty of an individual?
Well, it's honest. I think it really just comes from like self-confidence issues, to be honest. Because like this, right?
So salty you deny common sense.
Yeah, it's like this, right? Like, I think it should be this way, and then rather than gravitating towards the things that are happening in your reality and accepting things as how they are, or really
Accepting you for who you are.
yes, or like, you know, really finding the true cause of why a certain individual is feeling a certain way, or the real reason as to why you might just dislike My Hero, because maybe you might just dislike it because you never watched it
Or read it.
if another person can keep you from enjoying something, or if another person can make you dislike something, then what does that say about you making decisions for yourself and the confidence you have in making a choice for yourself? Like, you can't determine whether or not you like something because
Of somebody else.
because of someone else.